I'm releasing its proposed budget for 2021. Fox News confirming the details of the plan, which would fund the federal government starting on October 1st.
It includes the following $4.8 trillion in total spending, an increase in funding for the military and NASA, and $292 billion in cuts to safety net programs. The proposal would aim to reduce deficits by more than $4 trillion over 10 years. Let's bring in our headliner, Russ Vought, Acting Director of the Office of Management and Budget. He joins us now. Director Vought, thank you for being here this morning. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me on.
First off, what is your message about this budget plan? What do we need to know?
It balances the budget in 15 years, has more deficit reduction, $4.6 trillion than any president's budget in history. Continues to do everything we can to deal with the trillion-dollar deficits that we're seeing as a result of Congress ignoring the president's spending reductions over this first 3 years. We continue to grow the economy at 3%. This is a post-policy budget, so all the things that we're calling for, infrastructure, better trade deals, are reflected in these assumptions, and it's necessary to keep Americans working and dealing with our deficit.
Let's get into the spending before we get into the cuts. In terms of defense spending, as I understand it, it goes up about 0.3% in the president's proposal. Talk about that and whether hawks on the right will feel like that's enough for our military, number one. But number two, we're told that the president wants some new money for his border wall. That's been a big priority. Talk about that.
This complies with the recent agreement as it pertains to defense spending. It includes within that 1% increase for defense a 20% increase for nuclear modernization and the important work that's being done at NNSA under the Department of Energy. As it pertains to the border wall, we continue to request additional funds, but what we've already secured over the first 3 years has fulfilled all the mission-critical requirements along our southern border. We're going to continue to request funding as we move towards a steady state, but we're going like gangbusters. 100 miles has already been built. About 500 miles will have been built by the start of next year. We have a good story to tell as it pertains to the effort along the southern border.
As you know, criticism is already pouring in from the left.